No, that's wrong. Dixie Diamonds 56. Dixie Road Junction, Cooktown, 3 Islands National Park, 2:31 p.m. By pushing the speed limit and bumping along the unimproved Peninsula Development Road, aka Highway 81, Edward traveled the 100K from Lara to their left turn onto Dixie Road in just under an hour. And with just under 40 kilometers to go, Balloony again reached out telepathically to Eddie, Lizzie, and Mama Pie. Karen contacted me and said the coast is clear and she can talk now if you're all ready. Liz looked at Eddie, who nodded assent, as Mama Pie said, "We're ready here. Cheeky Pie and Jerald are up from their naps. Is there any reason they can't join us?" "I wouldn't think so, but let's introduce ourselves and we'll ask Karen, shall we?" Balloony suggested. "Mama Pie, Cheeky, Jerald. I'd like to introduce you to Karen Block. She's the librarian at the Cooktown Library, which I believe is where Lizzie gets those books she reads to you, Jerald. Is that correct, Karen? Karen, may I introduce Mama Pie, Jerald, and Mr. Squirrely Cheeky Pie?" "Jerald," Karen said from her spot in front of the computer within the now otherwise deserted Cooktown Library, "Elizabeth and Edward always speak so fondly of you. It's a pleasure. Is it safe to assume that Mr. Squirrely Cheeky Pie is your child, Mama Pie?" she added. "He is," Mama said, "and it's a pleasure to meet you. Please, you may call me Molly." "Cheeks, what do you say?" "It's a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Block," Cheeky replied. "Thank you so much for helping Balloony. He's a wonderful friend who deserves a wonderful life." "It's a pleasure to meet you as well, Mr. Squirrely Cheeky Pie," Karen said, "and even from Balloony's and my very brief friendship, I wholeheartedly agree with your assessment of our unique friend here. Did we want to dive in, or—" "We're good to go," Lizzie added. "Eddie's driving, so he'll do more listening than talking. Right, dear?" she concluded, her intonation on the final 2 words making it clear to all but the youngsters that this was more command than suggestion or observation. "Right," Ed said. "Assuming there's no reason to exclude the youngsters, we're ready. By the by, we mostly call our squirrely young friend Cheeky, and we wanted to make sure you're comfortable with the youngsters being included in our confab." "Included?" Karen replied. "Absolutely. And the good news is that my application to ResearchGate has been improved. I'm a member and can send emails to other members, including your Dr. Rosier, of course. I logged into my email and queued a message to Rosier that I've also CC'd Lizzie. I've literally only typed, 'Dear Dr. Rosier.' From what you and I discussed, Balloony, it seemed to make the most sense to let you compose while I type, right?" "If you're comfortable letting me use your fingers, then absolutely," Balloony replied. "I won't have you send the message until you've had a look at what we've written. That way you can proofread and make sure you're comfortable with what I say in your name. Acceptable?" "I trust you, Balloony," Karen replied. "Let's type, proofread, then send. Yes?" "Yes," Balloony whispered. "Let's do just that." In addition to CC being abbreviation for closed circuit television cameras, it is also an abbreviation for carbon copy. By CCing someone, it is possible for additional readers to simultaneously receive an email, but those who are CC'd have varying degrees of how easy it is to respond to said email compared to the direct recipient or recipients. If someone receives an email directly, the recipient can simply choose reply and send a return message to either the original author, or if it is an email sent to a group, the entire group. By including the Bordens as a CC recipient, they were kept in the information loop as observers rather than direct participants.